I guess I start this off saying thank all the people that like to watch the football video. All the people out there, watch my breakdowns of the games. This is Responsible Daddy Hour. I am Pontiac. You might know me as A-Win. You might know me as the Time Lord, but I'm all that. But the new energy is Pontiac, definitely. That's why the name is up there. Claim the name. I mean, heck, you could even look at this hat as being Pontiac. So we claim that energy back. Because that's what was done all through America. But give a quick breakdown of some of the games this weekend. A couple of people were saying that the Mahomes, where he didn't throw the touchdown, that they were cover two, the Tampa cover two, which it had nothing to do with it. As soon as Kelsey turns, I prove that he's wide open. Hey, Crazy Sarge, how you doing, man? How's y'all weather? Tell you what, we got the wind gust, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gust. Like I was getting gas. And oh my goodness, let me say that. I'll get back to the sports. I went to the casino to get gas because it's on this side of town. Because I knew Holiday was more expensive. Casino was at $3.15. I was like, oh, that's higher than what it's been because normally it's been around $3, $2.99. Left my wallet at home. Like got out my garage, came and went all the way over there, left my wallet, so I couldn't get gas. Went to get gas at Holiday, which is around the corner, $3.34. So I didn't get that much. I was like, shit, I'm gonna wait till I go back out to the casino to get gas. The one, Aggie Pride, what's happening? What's happening? Hey, Derek, Hero Twins. Well, let me get back to the Mahomes play. I mean, it clearly showed, just like on the goal line, there's no way you run a swing pass on the goal line when you ain't got a timeout. I mean, that's just bogus. And I'm listening to all the talking heads yesterday, trying to tell all the lies. And I'm like, yeah, if you rewatch the game on the NFL Network, when he doesn't want to pass the ball, he starts scrambling. It's like he doesn't even take his reads and he'll start scrambling. So all my videos are on point. He threw that game on purpose. Again, he getting 40-some million a year. He doing what he told. It was a poor product, though. Alfanard, Alajanard. Well, thank you. Rams or the Bengals? I'm going to say the Rams because the Bengals ain't never won it, and they tend not to let teams win that have never won it. The last team I want to say that hasn't won it, which technically they did, the Colts. Yeah. The Colts, they won it as the Baltimore, well, let me see. Yeah. Or no, Cincinnati went to the Ravens. The Ravens was the last time. Okay. I helped her out. I agree. Mahomes threw the game. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Was it the Ravens, the last team? But the Ravens came from Cleveland. That's okay. So the Ravens came from Cleveland. Cleveland has never won a Super Bowl, but they did win the NFC Championship. So the Ravens is probably the last team to win it, but they did win NFC Championship. So, but I can say the Lions won the NFC Championship. We go back to the Cardinals. A lot of teams won NFC Championships. But I'm just going to say that they're not going to let the Bengals win because the Bengals have never won it. And they tend to stick to that script. Hey, CJ, what's happening? I'm sorry to say. Leonard, Derek, MK Ultra. He definitely MK Ultra. All them commercials. High school quarterbacks play cleaner. Yeah, Leonard, I agree. Mom and dad, what is it? I'm going to say maybe his mom because I know Pat. I know Pat Sr. Pat Sr. used to pitch here, and I've told, numerous stories of him. Pat Sr. is probably the best athlete I ever came around. What is the cat? About 6'3", 6'4"? And he dunked on a dude 6'8". I got a friend named Tyrone that played for the Globetrotters. He dunked on Tyrone We was over at Bally's playing pickup ball, and I mean, he dunked on Tyrone, like right there, dunked on him and hit Tyrone in the face. I mean, it was like he dunked on him, the ball went through and hit Tyrone in the face. Pat could throw a football. Pat Sr. could probably throw a football 80 yards. I remember we was fucking around in the streets. Shit. Yeah, he probably threw that football. We was in the street. He threw that football over a block. Over a block. He didn't hit the post or nothing. He threw that football over a block. So it was probably a good 80 yards that Pat, and you know, of course, he could throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. So Pat, I'll say this. Now, I've said this story before. When Pat was here, you know, Pat's father killed himself. You know, if anybody does any, you know, Pat's father killed himself. And there was one point where Pat, like we have a grain belt. We got a bridge, and maybe it's Washington Street Bridge that goes over to the east side of downtown, goes over the Mississippi River. And Pat flipped, and he was drunk. And some people thought that Pat Sr. tried to kill himself when he flipped in the car. So I would say the dad probably wasn't a handler. He was probably handled himself. Because again, you know, with his father dying, him making it to the majors. Shit, the last time I saw him previously, this was 07, 08. I think Pat was still pitching. He pitched. I saw him pitch against the St. Paul Saints. And that had to be maybe the summer of 07, 08. One of them years I saw him. Because he looked more like he looked now. You know, we was younger, you know, back in the 90s. You know, we change, we get older. But I would say if anybody was a handler, probably the mama. Probably the mama. Because, you know, they've been not together. His dad dying was a trigger, maybe. Well, you know, they say that everybody thought that the same thing, that Pat was trying to kill himself. That's what everybody thought at the time. You know, I saw him afterwards, you know, but that's what the thought was. And Pat was cool. I mean, gracious. Like I told the story before, I teased him because some of my family came in town, and he gave us tickets on the third. We was like upper level of the Metrodome, but we was right on the third base line. Really good tickets. And he like cracked on me. He was like, how did you like those tickets? And I was like, I want to sit behind Kirby Puckett wife. And then the rest of the season, and I mean, I went to every game after that. But the rest of the home season, we sat right behind Kirby Puckett's wife. She's always buy nachos. After she saw we sat there, she would always buy extra. She'd come back, her and her friend would come back with our full, and always we sat right behind her. And so got to know her pretty well. So I thought a beast throwing 40 yards, damn. Oh yeah, Pat Sr., easily the best athlete I was ever around. I mean, the best overall athlete. Pat got scholarships to play quarterback at Texas. Not only to play pro baseball, I mean, he went in right from high school. He went into pro baseball. But Texas, he was like one of the top 2-3 top rated quarterbacks coming out of Texas. And you know how football is in Texas, especially high school football. Hell, Pat was telling stories where they was playing in front of 20, 30,000 people in high school. In high school. And it's only 2-3 states that you see that. Florida's like that. My best friend that I went to college went to Miami-Dade High School, and he was saying back in the 70s, he was like, yeah, we always played in front of 20,000 people. That shit wasn't believable till I went down there. And we went to one of these high school games, and sure enough, 20,000 people, like it was packed. Like it was more people than generally was I'm not answering you. They know how to spin the ball. Oh yeah, Pat. Whew. I mean, he could throw a baseball about 100 miles an hour. He had good stuff, good control. He was good for the Twins. He played for the Twins 3-4 years. He was good for the Twins. He was, like I mentioned, best athlete I'd ever personally knew. And Pat's younger than me. I would say Pat is probably 50, in his early 50s. You guys can look that up. But you know, you look at pictures, there's pictures of him and his son. And this is how they initiate them. They initiate them like that. Like they bring them around. And I read a report years ago that the it's almost like 30-40% chance that if the father plays pro sports, it's almost a 40% chance so will the children. I mean, look at Felder, look at Griffey. Griffey, think about this with Griffey. Griffey was hitting pro pitching when he was a little boy. He was like 9, 10 years old hitting pro baseball pitching. He was doing batting practice at 9, 10 years old. So was Barry Bonds. I mean, Barry Bonds Jr., same way. You know, he was a boy hitting batting practice. So you don't think that you know, and that is a ritual too. You know, that's a ritual of bringing them in that way. So you know, we see the same thing over and over again where they throw it on purpose. I just think that he made it too obvious. He made it too obvious. And that was my argument, is that all you had to do is look at the play. First quarter, he scrambles forward. First half, he scrambles forward. Second half, he scrambles, he's running around. And that one, my video with it shows where they could have easily scored. The same way on the goal line. The same way on the goal line. It's supposed to be a read. You can see the blocking, and they had made a shift. On the interception, I missed one thing I didn't put. If you look at the video I made on the interception, he shifts over too. He shifts over. So he's in his stance, and watch my video. The dude stands up and he shifts over to get the interception. And so on that interception, he throws it right to him. You see all the arm angles he does. On the interception, he throws it right freaking to him. So it was definitely, you see the difference in his play. They didn't make any adjustments on defense. It was just like the last interception he threw that put him out to, you know, to help them, that helped the Bengals get the interception. It was no way to throw the ball. He was covered. He was covered. So why would he throw that ball? Covered and safety help. Covered and safety help. No reason to throw the ball. So we see the scripting. But I would say the Rams, the big winners was the Rams game went with, what was it, 51? And it was up to 54? Or was that the Bengals game? One of them was 54, and the final score was 51, so it was the under. And I saw a few people saying that they was taking the under. So I'm pretty sure the results are coming out. Oh, and another thing we got to watch is Super Bowl deaths. I don't know if we really can say that the Miss USA pageant, I really wouldn't count her. I really wouldn't count her as a Super Bowl deaths. The Super Bowl deaths would go from Sunday until we know Sunday until the Super Bowl evening. Because remember, 2 years ago, they killed that former basketball player after the game. Remember that? Killed the basketball player and his wife after the Super Bowl. And that was the Super Bowl, maybe the Eagles won. It was like we counted 22 people. 22 people died that was part of entertainment. 22 people, I think, the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I think it was 22 people died. And a matter of fact, an ex-player, football player died after the Super Bowl or during the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl, that basketball player and his wife died, if you guys remember that. So we're going to see that again. So watch the deaths leading up. That and that's the terrible thing about being 2 weeks. This ritual is 2 weeks apart, and it becomes obvious how hungry the beast is, and that the beast is going to want to eat. So be aware of that. This, and like the colors, you know, we can even get into the color of the Super Bowl. The color of the Super Bowl shows what beast eats. Like a few years ago, we saw Shiva's colors. Remember, Shiva is a creator and a destroyer at the same time. Kali is a straight destroyer, you know, his other half. So remember, that energy can be out there too. And it shows you what beast eats. Because this is the biggest ritual of the year. I mean, there's no ritual bigger than now. Not for them. No awards. This is it. This is the biggest ritual that we will see by far. And so that's why all the bloodlust. This is like the Super Bowl is turned wicked. I mean, you can't say it's not. It is a wicked. It's a wicked celebration. You know, we know Krampus takes Christmas, and we celebrate that crumpet. But this thing that they call the Super Bowl is the most evil ritual that we have. And it's a total evilness of it. In every kind of way, it is evil. And there's no way to get around it. And that's why, you know, I say that I'm the holder of the sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins is because of this. And this is why I point out the wickedness, and this is why I point out the fakeness of the games. Because there's nothing legitimate about the games. The games are totally scripted. And like I remember we did a breakdown with Derek, where Derek and Zach was still cool. And we broke down the 1933 championship where you had the last dude who didn't have to wear a helmet. They do like a flea flicker, you know, hook and ladder. And he pitches the ball, but this cat didn't have a helmet on. But I forget, but the score in Gematria showed that it was ritual from 1933. This is their 10th year anniversary. So we see it all through, even before the Super Bowl. We see the corruption that the NFL has been scripted forever from its every year of its life. Now I can't say so much for the AFL, but at some point the AFL, because they was on TV, had to be in agreement when they went into the NFL to script the games. And as I said before, the AFL, oh, here they go. As I said before, the games.
Yes, son, where'd you go?
So the AFL had to make an agreement.
Oh.
Well, the biddies is here. Maybe I'll come on tonight. Thank you for joining me. Till we meet again.